we do run into...
That's when you follow the third rule of treasure hunting. Run like the wind.
Didn't you say the third rule was go with the flow?
I don't know. Did I? Anyway, whatever.
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a trace of Rerir, do not pursue him. Get out of the area and alert the rest of us as soon as possible. We need to put safety first.
So, you guys didn't find anything either?
Not loving the word either. How about you, Flint's?
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspicious individual. But by the time I got to his place, he was already gone.
Darn it, Rerir. If you've got the guts, come face me one-on-one! Wait, he's actually here? I didn't mean it! I swear!
Why is he attacking the damsel elect? What's going on?
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehoda, get Kutar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Thalindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
But we don't stand a chance against an enemy like this. Surely our only option is to run. He's not gonna chase us to the end of the world, right? So as long as we can sneak out of Nod Krai undetected... No, I can't say that. Come on, Yehoda, this is serious stuff. You can't suggest we all just chicken out.
Running is our only option.
Huh? It's the Wild Hunt!
Even faster than we expected. We'll have to finish this conversation later.
Be silent. Night falls.
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Who are you? Uncle Varka! You're back from Amsvartnir? Whoa! You're Varka? Grand Master of the Knights of Favonia? Where are we? This is...
Well, that goes without saying. This is the Knights of Favonius' meeting place in Nod Krai, and a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network.
You look way younger than Paimon expected.
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsvartnir without a wink of sleep, only to get right into another fight with that freshly revived maniac.
Another? You mean you fought him before?
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise, but he saw us coming from a mile off. Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. The reason I led my team to Amsvartnir was because we'd had reports about a possible source of the Wild Hunt showing up there. But once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know who was behind it, but clearly it served its purpose. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, it sounds like his scheming began well before his return. So maybe luring me away was all a part of his plan. To my knowledge, the bulk of Nod Krai's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still growing.
What if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest. The Frost Moon was the brightest. And the Iridescent Moon was the most mysterious. They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense power, enough to shape the workings of the world itself. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's marrow resides within the Traveler.
The iridescent moon, the last piece in the puzzle.
That's right. If we can find the Iridescent Moon's marrow, I will be able to regain my strength much more quickly. I know a way, but we will need to visit the Fatui's Experimental Design Bureau.
The Wild Hunt has plagued Nod Krai for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good, we have to get to the root cause of what's driving it.
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of Nod Krai has a clue, and she has info coming out of her ears.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly meticulous when it comes to dealing with machines.
She heard me.
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's intel you're after, she's your woman. Pretty much seen and heard it all.
The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a moon chanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning to start passing the donation box around among the faithful.
Boss, just a thought. If they come up short, maybe you can take the difference out of my next few paychecks. Things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir. If this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be ley line fodder by now. I'd be gone for good, boss. If there's any way we can make this work, I'd really like to help her. Please, I'm begging you.
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. They are the hardest debts to repay. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well, Yehoda, I will help. But just this once. Don't count on this happening again. Flynn's, that fragment that Rerir was after, do you still have it on you?
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to follow up on some leads.
Wait, you actually have some leads?
Shh. This is top secret information.
I'm way ahead of you here. Inefa did a scan of the Moon Goddess's Kuvaki signature, and we're gonna use it to make some decoys over at the Kramkake craft shop. Anyone who's in, follow me. Once they're ready, we'll deploy the decoys across Nod Krai. So as long as the rest of you keep moving, he won't catch on to your scent and won't be able to track you down.
out of consideration for our former ties and the crisis we're all up against. We'll let you leave in one piece. But don't even think about trying to get inside.
Let them in.
But
Are you going to make me repeat that?
no, my lady.
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood. Must be maintenance day.
Whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past, I haven't lost the plot enough to even consider sticking my neck out for your sakes.
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What?
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino. Is she in Nod KRAI?
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the Rooster and Regrator. The only ones in Nod KRAI are me and... What is it you need to speak to her about anyway?
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent and sensitive guests who won't stop asking where you've gone. Oh, they've been a real joy.
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to me when I upset you.
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around to drink it? I keep losing people. First Rosaline, now you. I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than a multi-centenarian goddess who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time. Was it really just to see how I'd react?
Well, duh. Why else? Watching you squirm was practically my only form of entertainment. Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around, too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Polonia! Have Febronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea, will suffice. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back just because the higher-ups told me to. But if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies for real. Guess that's our cue to leave? That might be your plan. But it sounds like someone else wants you to stay a little longer. Listen. Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in the weapon system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, make it quick, or you'll just get in my way. There's a secret passage on the second floor. It'll take you right to the plains out back. Come on then, Mr. Ray here. Let's pick up where we left off. Oscar 1, lock on to target! Don't worry. Once this is over, I'll put you all back together again. I promise. Finally, the Ray here himself. Time to... Huh? Where'd he go? Uh-oh. Polonia, get him! I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for...
She's not here.
Hey! Over here, you big...
Cursed moon.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death. It's bad luck.
Is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day. Yehoda, I need you to find someone for me. The sooner the better.
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee.
Your supplier?
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily for you, I hear she's planning to visit Nod KRAI in the near future. If you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. Can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that? Roll over and serve yourself up on a silver platter?
Of course not. I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, this is for my personal use only!
Favors are the worst kind of debt to owe, and now you've got a chance to repay one. A win-win situation, don't you think?
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. You will see many strange things in your mind's eye. So remember, don't be frightened, and don't make a sound.
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was nothing more than a stagnant pool, the burial place of a fallen moon, a withered, windless grove where the waters rested forever unrippled. It was you who helped me see that my heart hadn't entirely withered away, that it could still beat to the rhythm of love.
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of hiding that? The burial place of a fallen moon.
So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have a few drinks.
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop the big question? How's that coming along?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even greater gossip?
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more unsettling about seeing the human he used to be. It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services by giving the impression that he was just an ordinary member of the Venster King's Guard. He clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancée to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence trade rarely do.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners? That your hands are steeped in blood?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did. Orphans like us don't get a say.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular. I have a feeling that we may soon become targets of the Crimson Moon's retribution.
Wait. Hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rerir, and he claims to be one of the King's Guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple. It's because...
How strange. Rerir was nowhere to be seen in that memory. It clearly belonged to Thelindis. Rerir couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear in his fragment?
Fire.
Wait, what's that smell? Oh no, there's a fire!
Sandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while, Arlecchino.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Whatever! I've got all the data I need. Next time we meet, you're finished. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that cat girl touches ends up going haywire. Go put her on cleaning duty or something. Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime tea party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon name, or you're more than just a tea party buddy.
You're well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nod KRAI, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the details. Looks like she doesn't want to give away too many secrets after all. But she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers after all. One look and you can tell she's not someone you'd want to mess with.
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his? Do we know anything about her?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
The Lindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though, were these pure-blood Conorians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian...
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of his sanity?
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that.
Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flintz's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Nod KRAI in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
And Effa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal's a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel. We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch.
For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different person.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug-of-war.
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar in your presence. When I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its broken image, surrounded by a strange black aura.
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. In the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received children from beyond the bounds of this world, and subjected them to a peculiar induction ceremony. They made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted to having died and seen a crimson moon. The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them, "Within the fireplace, you have traversed the flames between two worlds. Here and now, you are born anew."
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can only be accessed temporarily through some kind of ritual.
But there's no fireplace here. Do you see a chimney anywhere?
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, the flames that burn within me. Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, Great Mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms. By fire severed, by fire renewed. I offer myself now and beseech your descent.
I sense your presence and crave you death and rebirth. Wait, why are you? You have crossed over from another world, transcended fate itself. I have no right to.
By the way, Columbina, didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon had shattered into pieces? The moon up there looks pretty whole to Paimon. How is that possible?
Just like I thought. It was only a facade.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest. Mourning still in wistful tone, her fragile soul now laid to rest. For me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson Moon space. Is it a coincidence? Or something more? Oh, Rerir, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, the Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
It's so cold. Is it you? Are you here? At long last. I can see you once more. Our fates have crossed, and I am finally free. I'm sorry. I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart as death drew near. The moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt blades. My thoughts scattered as the cold crept in, but I could not bear to fade away like that. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If only I had possessed your courage, then I might have been spared this torment more painful than death. You look so puzzled. That's how I felt too when I first saw you. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason. Farewell, Hypo.
Hurry! The place is collapsing!
It wants to trap us here.
Who's it? The Abyss?
Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy. Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart!
Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked!
This is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for? By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned, at least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, and that's why you're always seeking to grow stronger. But whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down the same path as Rarier.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina. Although perhaps it's time you took a new name. All I'll say is this. Once you've defeated Rarier, give it some thought.
So, who's your travel buddy, Albedo?
Why don't you come and introduce yourself?
A gentleman of few words, I see, and a rather stern countenance. I presumed you were acquainted with him. Is that not the case?
It's nice to meet you. Again. We've technically met before.
Wait a sec! You're Mini Durin!
By the way, he says it's okay if you drop the mini. Yeah, I'm not as mini as I used to be.
It's getting crowded here. I'll go grab some chairs.
No need. This is a job for an alchemist. I'll whip some up momentarily.
Oh, this place is hopping. It's probably a good thing one of us left. Otherwise, we might not fit all these people in.
Are you saying we're about to run out of chairs?
As a matter of fact, I am. Come on in and see for yourself.
This here is Deanslip, colleague of Tibet's greatest guide, Paimon, and greatest adventurer, the Traveler. Well, not exactly colleagues, more sort of friends.
Note to self. Once Paimon knows your name, the rest of the world will soon follow. From the looks of it, you're about to hold a meeting. If I were to say that the Wild Hunt is our mutual enemy, would that earn me a seat at the table?
As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mr. Dainsleif, there's a seat with your name on it. Though, I can't promise the same for everyone else. Hey, Albedo, think you can rustle up a couple more chairs?
After all this time apart, Grandmaster Varka's first order is to rustle up a couple more chairs. I've missed this. Is he being sarcastic? I've still got a lot to learn about the nuances of human conversation. Trying to decipher Albedo's way of speaking has been like jumping in at the deep end.
Oh, good point. Paimon gets you now. Don't sweat it. There are people who go their whole lives without getting the hang of it.
I wonder what's taking Nefer so long.
Perhaps you should go and check in with her. If anyone can hurry her along, it's you.
I just got back from the curatorium. Besides, aren't you curious to see what's taking her so long?
Miss Nefer doesn't strike me as the type to share secrets. And since gathering intel is her specialty, I'm guessing she'd prefer to keep her methods confidential. Under such circumstances, would it not be tactless for me to impose?
Oh, but it's fine for me to impose.
What can I say? You have an unrivaled ability to garner people's affection, Miss Moonchanter. Besides, you have far more in common with her than I do.
All right then.
Impressive. She barely fought back at all. I admire your powers of persuasion, my friend.
As I'm sure Miss Lauma will realize soon enough, the trick in life is to always pitch in with other people's responsibilities so that you can be selective with your own.
Another trick is to simply hide in the background.
Spoken like a true sage.
Truth be told, I can't remember the last time I was in a meeting with so many people.
You're not alone there, my friend. The Lightkeepers also struggle to bring everyone together for a serious discussion.
I don't doubt that. I've only ever met two Ratniki, one being you, and the other being that young guy, Itlua.
Itlua is a good apple, I'll give him that. He's kind, honest, and regularly delivers supplies to my lighthouse. A true Ratnik to the core. In that sense, he puts me to shame.
So you're what? A fake Ratnik? That's what it sounds like you're saying. But I get the feeling that's not quite what you meant. Come on, why the awkward silence?
Sorry. I'm not even gonna bother trying to hide it. You've known all along, haven't you, my friend? Now that was an awkward silence.
Let's just keep this between ourselves. Probably best if Itlua doesn't know, huh?
That goes without saying. Gotta be careful what you share with youngsters, after all.
Anyone else in the know? Let me guess. The Traveler and Paimon?
It's dangerous being too sharp for one's own good, you know.
Then, in the name of the Animo Archon Barbados himself, I swear your secret's safe with me.
When we went for drinks, you said that you and Barbados were practically best buds. In the light of that claim, do you really expect me to take your oath seriously?
Of course. Just as long as you don't go spreading around the fact that I'm close with Barbados, all right?
Fair enough, then. Nothing like a bit of mutual leverage to seal the bonds of friendship.
I'm here to give you an update on how things are going on our end. Once this is over, I'll be heading straight back to continue my work. I left Yehoda back at the curatorium to watch over things while I'm gone.
So much for just this once.
Shh! Not so loud! We're on a roll here! What if she remembers and suddenly decides to back out?
Did you say something, Mr. Varka?
I didn't say anything. Right, Flints?
Must have been a frog. They get so noisy around here at nighttime. It's like they're putting on a concert in the background.
The visionary, Vedifenir, who wished to foretell the future. The wise, Haroptatir, who sought limitless knowledge. Gold, Rhindaughter, who desired to create life. The foul, Sertologi, who pursued supreme strength. And last, but not least, Raker of Solnari, Rerir, Ravager of the Moon. Of the five, Rerir is the only one who remains a mystery to me. He never harbored grand ambitions, so what changed in the space of a single night? How did he come to fall like the others? The fateful night took place during the era of the Eclipse Dynasty. One day, my elder brother, the visionary, Vedifenir, was summoned to the palace by the Vinster King, only for the king to gouge out his eyes and cast him into the dungeons. When I came to hear of this, my fury knew no bounds. I gathered together every ally I thought I had, and together, we set a night to storm the palace and free Ved. Centuries on, the memories of that night still haunt me like a never-ending nightmare. We broke through the palace gates, just like we had planned, each striking towards our separate targets. But then, I was betrayed. Even Vedifenir, the very person I had come to rescue, abandoned me and partook of the Abyss's power.
Sounds pretty good to me. Feels like we just flagged down a random passerby, only to discover he's actually a master strategist who has a score to settle with our enemy.
Can I borrow your halo? It could be useful in the lighthouse.
Hey, enough with the wisecracks! Besides, isn't that lamp of yours bright enough already?
Relax. It was meant to be a compliment. If that was a little over the top for your liking, I'll make sure to tone it down next time.
So you're placing all your hopes on me, huh?
We can't thank you enough for agreeing to help us. Honestly, I can hardly believe how lucky we are.
You sure have a talent for changing your tune, Miss Moonchanter. Timid like Yehoda one moment, then flinches insincere flattery the next.
Ladies, please. I must object to your portrayal of me. That's all. Feel free to keep bickering. Just pretend I'm not here.
I almost don't want to leave this room. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Look at them getting along so well. Like two peas in a pod.
And I'm the one they accuse of insincere flattery. There is no justice.
This whole experience is teaching me a lot. For instance, I now know that when other issues come up in the future, I'll have far more luck getting Lauma to convince Miss Nefer than trying to do it myself.
Hate to say it, friend, but that's one of the funniest things I've heard in a while.
Why? You think I've got it wrong?
Quite the opposite. But what makes it so hilarious is how long it's taken you to realize.
It's funny, isn't it? Your job is becoming both harder and easier at the same time, depending on how you look at it. Sooner or later, the Crimson Moon descendants will be completely wiped out. But as their numbers dwindle, they become harder and harder to track down.
That's not how it is.
Fortunately, however, most of the able-bodied adults have already been taken care of. The remaining weaklings will be increasingly easy to deal with.
No!
No. My job is to ensure the survival of the Eclipse Dynasty. And the only way to do that is by eliminating any and all potential threats. It's a perfectly legitimate line of work. Every single one of my colleagues can attest to my fairness. And if my friends were aware of the facts, I know they'd back me up too. Assuming, of course, that they were aware of all the facts.
I want you to kill him. You are the only person he would never suspect.
No, absolutely not. I would never dream of doing such a despicable thing.
So you'll just stand by and watch him slaughter us to the last? Do not forget that the blood of the Crimson Moon flows in your veins too.
Thalindis? No. No. Why? But you bear no mark of the Crimson Moon. How could you possibly have anything to do with them? It cannot be! A diluted bloodline. Carefully concealed. I see it now. You've been living in the shadows just like me. What a fool I've been. Numbing myself with talk of justice. Even imagining my friends would back me up. But in the end,
Then you'll need a little more vigilance and a lot more power. The world is changing, Rerir. Keep your eyes peeled for your moment of opportunity.
And that voice used to be so unclear. But now I know exactly whose it is. It's Vedalfnir.
Research dating back to the Crimson Moon Dynasty has established 2 points regarding moon marrow. Firstly, its origins have something to do with a god's power. Secondly, it serves as a portal to an as-yet indeterminate location. Moon marrow can thus be defined as a spatial gateway. But enough about that. You should get going, and be careful with the package I gave you. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
What's in it?
A piece of the moon. All you need to know is that as long as you keep it safe, then in the future, everyone will be able to see a red moon.
I know it's your voice that I keep hearing in my head, urging me to see how the world is changing, to seek more power, so I can protect the things I love.
My voice? In your head? So, you hear it too? The voice that steals your mind, gains your trust, and drives you crazy.
What's that?
Rerir! So the rumors about your work are true.
What? No! Listen, something happened at the palace tonight. We have to leave!
You don't need to lie to me anymore.
What do you mean?
I know why you're worried, and I will respect the decision you've made. But it's okay, because I found a solution. I know how to end all this. You can have it back. The normal life you so desire. But until then, I'm afraid our wedding will have to wait.
Celindus? No, don't do it! Celindus! Celindus!
I told you, Rerir. Let her go. You will find someone better.
No, I won't do it! I have to save her!
By what means exactly? A lowly pawn. You lack the power and the strength of will.
Do you know a way? Tell me!
Come to the palace. Join us.
Rerir, thank goodness we...
Step forth and take your share.
You made it.
Not you too.
Hatred or grief, despair or desire. We all have our own.
Rerir. Rerir.
Celindus?
Were you daydreaming? You still remember, Rerir? That question you asked me a couple of weeks ago?
Oh. You mean the proposal?
Yeah. I'm wondering, where do you think would be a good place to discuss it? Maybe in the garden? Or were you thinking a fancy restaurant?
It's your choice. find you. And then, you can give me your answer.
Everyone, I'm back. Can I get a standing ovation?
Yes, boss! Let me get that door for ya.
That's more like it. For a moment there, I was worried you'd forgotten about the first clause of your employment contract.
Forgive my curiosity, but what does the first clause say?
It says I gotta do the annoying stuff that boss is too lazy to do for herself. Like opening the door, pouring the tea, yada yada.
Is that right?
If something is in the contract, it's because she willingly agreed to it. Rest assured that the curatorium abides by the very strictest of labor policies. You don't seriously think I'm cruel enough to treat her like my slave? In any case, I've hardly shied away from my share of the work today. Hope I don't catch Flintz and Varka lounging about in their chairs, enjoying a leisurely cup of tea. Evidently so. Don't worry, I'm not about to leave you to fend for yourselves. I'm not that kind of boss. And it would go against the curatorium's labor policy.
I'm sorry? What did you hear me say? I wasn't talking about labor policy.
Wait, we've been tricked. We never left at all. Somehow I hallucinated that whole scene back inside the office.
I was talking about our war against thirst. I went out to fix our water supply problem, and now I'm back. Which means...
We have a well again!
That's right. I found a new one and brought back as much water as I could carry. It should last us for a good while.
That's our well, and you know it! You stole from us! Well, you've gone from chief to thief, and now you have to face the consequences!
Did you really think you could take our water without permission and get away with it? You're either brave, stupid, or both.
And that Special Ambassador Act? Yeah, nice try! We spoke to the academia. They said it was all news to them. You're a liar and a cheat!
What a ridiculous lie the surviving Shimti tell. Their whole village was butchered over a sip of water.
Greetings, Halil. My name is Sinuhe, chief of the Shimti tribe. I was the one who came to you and your colleague's aid when you ran into trouble in the Great Red Sand. I don't know how well you remember it now, but I brought you to safety and gave you some water and other supplies. You seemed very pleased and told me your name. I found a well belonging to the Eob tribe. They declined to help us, but I really had no other option. So I took some water to keep me and my tribe alive. My actions are certain to incur their wrath. When we met, you assured me that you would be my ally in the academia. I would like to take you up on that offer, because I really need your help. I wonder if you could send an academia representative to meet with me.
From the outset, the academia never took you seriously. Those things they promised were just empty words. I doubt they even remember the name Sinuhe. I checked the map carefully on my way over here, and I'm confident that this is the well in question. The academia is offering 50 million mora in return for excavation rights.
In that case, we have a deal. We will sell you the excavation rights.
Weren't the Eob your allies once? You were quick to send them after us to protect your interests back when we stole that water. And now look at you. You're at each other's throats. Let me be clear. The academia wishes to collaborate with the legally recognized rulers of the desert in this matter. We are asking for excavation rights to that well, and our offer is 50 million mora.
Say no more. I believe we have an understanding.
The monsters who destroyed my home, they're just ordinary, petty human beings. What a joke. I think we're even now.
Nefer, It's okay. All of this is in the past now.
I believe I remember you promising to remain silent.
Yeah, but even so... It's just Ashru.
So, all is well?
Typically speaking, at this point, the world disintegrates. Then we find ourselves back in the outside world. Besides, these are my memories. There's nothing to fear.
You're sure?
Of course. It's almost over.
Never! Hey! Hold on!
Knowing too much is always a death sentence.
Speak for yourself.
How repulsive.
But how did he track you through your thoughts alone? That shouldn't be possible.
Rerir was a secret agent who reported directly to the Vinster King. He is an expert at finding a trail and hunting down his pursuers.
As I stood there gazing at the temple, I noticed a cat just outside. This cat, as it turned out, was home to the spirit of the Ibis King. He led me to a gate deep inside the temple, and there he made a deal with me. This chess set is my gift from the Ibis King. The chessboard within is made to the same specifications as the one in the mausoleum of King Deshret, and represents his power of piercing analysis.
I agree. Better to save your strength. But if you'll humor me for a moment, I have a bold conjecture of my own regarding the world beyond the gateway. I highly suspect that neither Tholindis nor Rerir made it through unscathed. The evidence pointing to this is the fact that the Rehir of Solnari exists in the form of countless fragments.
Without the power of the Abyss on his side, he almost certainly would have perished the moment he was torn apart. But the Abyss, much like a curse, has kept him alive.
Everyone says things they regret, right? I don't want anyone feeling trapped because their mouth said yes before their brain had time to think things through.
A very people-first approach. I hear that's common practice in the Knights of Favonius.
Heh. Who'd you hear it from? D-Luke?
Shh. We don't use people's real names at work. This contact will be known only as Owl, please and thank you.
Also, you are the last person I expected to see here, Miss Dory.
It's not often I get called Dory in a work context. My peers usually call me Lord Sangama Bay.
So, the longer your name, the higher your net worth. Is that the idea here? In that case, Mr. Flint's here must be worth a fortune. That's right, I know your full name. It's...
The walls are thin here. I'd appreciate you keeping that a secret.
Okay, fine. I'm actually only here as a favor for someone else. Do you have any idea how much it would cost to hire me otherwise? I finally got it all fully charged up with Kuvaki, and then never went and used it all up at once! Never lost so big in my life!
You're right. It was all my fault. I didn't mean to drain all the Kuvaki in the pendant, but I'll make it up to you.
You will? Well, in that case, how about you give me your chess set, and we call it even?
I knew you'd say that. Well, it's yours if you want it. In fact, take it now, and I'll even throw in a free Raker of Solnari. Deal?
You're putting me in a difficult position here. Ta-da! See? It's right here! Mage Alice once warned me that this world won't stay safe forever. There may come a day when everyone faces a great crisis. I passed this on to the Dendro Archon, and she secretly brought together a research team made up of Sumeru's top scholars to invent a technology that could keep people safe. I won't go into the details because it's all very complicated, but if you want to know more, you can ask the Dendro Archon about it sometime. Anyway, point being, it was the Dendro Archon who asked Kaveh to build this little contraption. As one of the top Kasharawar talents, he was the obvious choice. And more than that, no one knows what the future will bring. Whatever happens, I want to make sure the Dendro Archon and all of Sumeru is prepared to face whatever comes. Oh, that? I was just making sure Nefer and I are square.
The Wild Hunt is an interesting phenomenon. In and of itself, it doesn't seem to possess anything akin to a human personality. But taken as a collective, the medium through which the Wild Hunt is summoned does appear to have a soul. Master griped a lot about the wise Horoptatyr, and seemed somewhat fascinated with the foul Sirtology. But she barely mentioned Rerir at all. You could think of this as Rerir in mutated form. But in my view, even that would be inaccurate. In reality, his whole being has been consumed by the Abyss. In other words, he is now nothing more than a manifestation of abyssal power. Unfortunately, at present, we have no means of completely eradicating abyssal power. Hence, we cannot fundamentally destroy the Raher of Solnari either.
This gentleman is the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, Varka, Knight of Boreas. In my absence, please follow his lead.
Biggest strengths are honesty and hard-workingness. Anyway, point is, I don't intend to let Lauma down. I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep every last one of you safe and sound.
Thank you for your help with the Rerir situation. Without your efforts, I never could have learned the hidden truth of his story.
You're welcome. I know he's your friend.
Friend? He betrayed me. And I never really understood what he was going through in life. Some friendship, that is.
Okay. So, do you plan to fight him with us? Of course. I completely understand. Anyone else in your position would feel conflicted too. Actually, I went through something similar myself recently. Something happened that changed my perspective on a situation. A situation I took for granted at the time, but now I feel very grateful for it.
You mean the Harbingers who still support you, even though you've left the Fatui?
Yes. I always thought they were only helping me because Harbingers are forced to work together. But then I abandoned them. A warrant was even put out for my arrest. And even now, they still support me. Which means I was wrong about them all along.
Clearly, they view you as a friend.
I feel a little guilty now. I regret not seeing her help for what it was, and not treasuring it. I see the guilt that you're feeling now, because I feel it too. Hopefully, talking about it will do us both some good. Have you noticed that the Traveler and Paimon are over there? I think they've been listening.
Huh. Shall we say hello?
Sure. Hello.
But after waging war against the Wild Hunt for so long, I came to realize something. A life of absolute peace is simply not a possibility for me. My restless flame indicates that somewhere inside of me, there is a deep yearning to root out the evil in this world.
Oh, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing.
Well, in the past, when I was a fae whose primary concern was hibernation, it was hardly ideal.
Stay on your toes.
The only way to defeat Rarer is to borrow his own power. That means Columbina will have to disappear while you two bear the brunt of his attacks.
Never! Your eyes are bleeding.
Soon you will be powerless to resist. And then, I will reduce you to dust.
But that dust will plague your memories. Come on, keep holding on.
Any other tricks up your sleeve? Let's see them. As entertaining as they are, you've backed yourself into a corner.
You don't fool me. I see your fear clear as day. I have to stoke his rage. Make him unleash everything. You fear what you could never defeat. You fear the thought of never being able to save your beloved. You cannot win the fight against fate, Rarir.
Is that what you think? Well, now it's your turn to feel afraid!
You fear the sound of your own name?
Is it us you hate? Or is it what you've become?
Let's see what becomes of you! What's happening? That power. I've seen it before!
His power is on another level. We'll need to use an alchemical array to convert his power into a usable form. Then quickly channel it into Columbina, rendering her powerful enough to compete with him.
I'll join you. I can help. If I release enough abyssal energy into a confined space, it'll create a potential difference, allowing us to extract a huge amount of elemental energy. Next, I'll synchronize with everyone's minds using Pyro, then give you temporary access to their abilities and fields of view. But it won't last long. Can you see?
Well enough.
So, we have a student of Gold Rhine-Daughter in our midst!
How about that?
power against me?
Just like how you stole Kuvaki. Look familiar?
Don't you realize? You don't have the power to hold that gate open!
I don't, but someone else does.
Goodbye, Rerir.
We won.
Let me handle it. Miss Nefer, it's not like you to lose your composure. That was the most reckless thing I've ever seen you do. People suffer when they make sacrifices they shouldn't have to make. Whether that means faith, strength, or in this case, your ability to even see. I had hoped you could win without sacrificing so much as a single hair on your head.
There's something I want to let you know. When Durin connected everyone's minds so I could access their powers, I also felt everything they felt. And since Nefer's eyes were injured, my eyes are hurting now too.
Hold on. Let me try.
I only feel the pain. There's no actual damage. I just thought I should tell you.
You're right. There's no damage. That's a relief. But I must say, I'm surprised to hear the Kuthar share something like this with me. In the past, you never used to open up about yourself.
Things are a little different now from how they were. I'm learning to share how I truly feel with my friends.
Phew! Well, that's good. Paimon's been sitting on the edge of the bed worrying about you for ages. You slept a whole day and night. Poor Paimon had to eat all by her lonesome.
Glad to hear you didn't starve. How was the food?
Paimon, too. You really saved the day when you swooped in to open that gateway.
I came to accept that although Rerir was my friend in the past, here and now, he was an enemy that must be defeated. Though I will never fully understand what happened between us, I could not let this crisis deepen any further. We fought a very necessary battle, and you played your part admirably.
Yeah! And if you ever need to talk, just remember, we're always here.
I'll do that.
Get yourself a drink. You've more than earned it. In fact, today, your drinks are on me. Lord Sangama Base got you covered.
Yay! Wow! Drinks on Dory! What a historic day.
Hey, keep your voice down, or everyone else is gonna want in too. You... Have you heard anything I've been saying recently? Doing business in Nod Krai has been an absolute nightmare. If I'm buying for everyone, I'll...
Okay. Paimon will speak more quietly. Gee.
Yehoda, could I borrow you for a moment? I could do with an extra pair of hands.
Oh, sure. Coming. Did you hear that? I gotta go help Lauma for a second. You guys chat among yourselves. I'll grab us some drinks on the way back. Paimon, you still like 'em sweet?
It's just... I suddenly feel like I was wrong to call my father a liar. He was just a fool. That's why the academia turned their back on him, and why the other tribes ganged up on him. Oh, Father. How much better things could have been if you were a skilled liar. Look at the Ibis King. Thoth is a fiendishly cunning liar. And yet, strangely, he feels more like a father to me than my real dad ever was. He's never brought it up, but I'd bet he feels the same way. Why else would he give me the power to perceive the truth, while at the same time training me in the art of deception? Well, King Deshret banished him to Aru, which is essentially a prison, and posed 3 questions to him. He promised that he'd have his freedom if he could find the answers. His response was to take on a physical form and approach me, hoping that I could become his envoy and search for one of the answers on his behalf. Did he really think I'd fall for that? He's stuck there. He can't make me return what he gave to me. They say that a liar's soul is the most worthless thing in the world. What do you think? Good. If you understand that, it means you're smart, and you see things objectively. If you ask me, the soul of a liar really is worth nothing, because all they care about is themselves. For example, when something good falls into my lap, I don't go sharing the news around. Stops other people trying to steal it from me. So be it. They have sharp ears. I can't keep anything from them.
Oh, wait! Now that the panic's over and we've all calmed down, Paimon suddenly remembered something. After all that build-up, our mystery ally never showed up even once!
Huh? Am I imagining things?
So, that close colleague who stayed behind with you? What's he been up to recently?
Don't know, don't care. I get more normal human interaction from hanging out with Bosco too than him.
If he's disappeared without a trace, it's the biggest gift he ever gave to the world. But I somehow doubt that's what's going on.
You don't need to worry about me, Grandmaster. I'm fine. I mean, I barely did anything, so...
What? You're too humble, young man.
Sometimes, when people praise you, it's because you deserve it. The best thing is to accept it calmly and with grace. It's important to learn how to respond to words of admiration.
Let's do a quick demonstration. Albedo, that was an incredible feat of alchemy. The pressure was on, but you worked flawlessly at lightning speed to get the job done.
Thank you. I can't take all the credit, though. Durin played a big part in forming the alchemical array.
See? Did you catch that? A masterclass in how to take a compliment.
Okay, yeah. I did work pretty hard to help prepare for the battle. No point denying that.
The alchemical array absorbed his abyssal power. Then Durin processed it to render it usable by Columbina. That power enabled her to do what would otherwise have been nigh on impossible.
What surprised me was that Dainsleif actually agreed to join us. Given his history with Rerir, he had every right to sit this one out. But we're extremely grateful for the decision he made.
The chance to work with such a kind and charitable investor as yourself would be a great honor for the Curatorium.
Huh? Charitable? Who said anything about charity? First time hearing about it.
Let's see. The first plot of land you purchased in Nod Krai, your desert interests, and...
Stop! What do you think you're doing? Exposing my investment history!
You're a curious case, Lord Sangamabe. You don't like people finding out about your good deeds, do you?
Disasters are capricious things. They strike without any warning. I've lost family to a disaster before, and I don't want to lose any friends or business partners if I can help it. My elder sister used to dream of finding a sanctuary. Somewhere with plenty of food, water, and medicine. Where everyone could live happy lives.
It's a pity that so few people know the truth about you. Everyone says that you view everything in terms of Mora, and all you care about is growing your own wealth.
So, what's the problem with that? Everyone wants to be rich. It's human nature. So yes, I love Mora, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
But surely you have dreams of your own beyond just making Mora.
You don't get it, do you? My dream is to invest in other people's dreams. And, you know, make a nice little slice for myself along the way. Just thinking about it makes me happy. That sweet, sweet sound of Mora.
Thank you.
For the device?
And the pendant.
Oh, that. I was just returning a favor. Don't worry about it. Yeah, though it's been years since my sister passed away. It's not like I want to forget them, obviously, but memory can be even more ruthless than the most calculating business person. Beyond a certain point, if something isn't helping you, it just gets rid of it. My sister can't help me now. Slowly but surely, her face is fading from my mind's eye. It's become a vague impression.
Not everything will fade. When loved ones pass away, the beautiful memories are the ones that last the longest.
Yeah, that's true. If you ask me, that's the one silver lining in all of it.
That's the only reason you're here.
Yes. I've thought a lot about it, and I've realized that you, me, and Arlecchino should be friends. I think this is very important, so I felt I had to come and tell you.
Well, this is a new one. I'm so moved. I can't even hold my teacup. If that's all, you can leave now.
Do you not want to be friends with me? Or is it that you prefer being co-workers?
What is this, Columbina? Are you deliberately testing my patience threshold? Right now, my politeness module is active, but if you say another word, I swear I'll shut it down.
If your politeness module was active, wouldn't you say the word please at some point?
Polonia, please see Lady Columbina to the door.
Will you still invite me to your next tea party?
What?
Yes, I think you will. Bye-bye, dear Sandrone.
If you're in the mood for tea, go ahead and help yourself. Otherwise, it's going to waste. My coasters are still missing in action, though. Use this notebook instead.
Whoa! Pretty hefty notebook. Look at all those calculations.
Trying to predict the future is like daydreaming. And writing about the present just makes me furious. The past is my favorite. If nothing else, it's already set in stone, so I don't have to rack my brains trying to figure it all out. Huh. Although, having said that, the only vaguely interesting memory in my past is probably that guy they call Lord Artificer. Yep. In fact, I'm probably the only normal person left who knew him at all. Alain's work was like epic poetry. The formulas in my notebook are just silly little riddles in comparison. Not that there's anything bad about them. I mean, at least, solving those riddles isn't going to hurt anyone. Except me, 'cause I lose a few brain cells in the process. A mad dream that would normally only capture the minds of lunatics begin to take root in their hearts. A dream of saving the world. The first of them to fall under its spell was Renee. The next time they met, Renee's soul had been completely engulfed by the dream of salvation. His futile attempt to change the tide of fate only resulted in a wave that swallowed up the world, even before the apocalypse came. And although that wave died down eventually, I hear that it just recently came back with a vengeance. But I'm told that the attempted resurgence finally died out for good. At long last, Renee awoke from his deluded dream. Though of course by then it was far too late. Do you admire his transcendent genius? His view that any price was worth paying to achieve the lofty goal of saving the world? Or do you despise him? Dismiss him as an evil madman who wrought havoc on the lives of everyone around him as he pursued his delusional dream? Same difference, really. Just a matter of perspective. Doesn't surprise me. You share one thing in common, after all. You both want to be the savior. The only difference is, your dream came true, and his, well, he wasn't the one who made it come true. Anyway, that's enough about Renee. Now, moving on to Alain Guillotin, the Lord Artificer. He managed to put a stop to the first storm whipped up by Renee. But after that, Alain lost his friends and family. To his credit, I suppose, the loss of his family and friends was purely a tragic accident. It's It's not like Alain sacrificed them for his cause or anything. But although the desire to save Fontaine drove him to found the Fontaine Research Institute, Alain continued to reject any form of transcendental knowledge or power. He was suspicious and fearful of it, having seen the way it had affected his closest friend. I think that formulas and machines derived solely from human intellect were the only thing that gave him a sense of spiritual comfort. Once he realized that the end of his life was approaching, he finally accepted the truth. The Nazissenkreuz Institute needed someone, and a human being, to see its story through to the end. He quit working on his formulas, trading them in for the fairy tales that had played such a formative role in his childhood, but which he barely touched in his adult life. I think that all he wanted at that time in his life was to be able to sleep deeply without being plagued by depression. By that point, nothing else really mattered. Many years after that, tensions over competing dreams would once again cause a rift, this time between members of the Fontaine Research Institute. But the actions of those fools had nothing at all to do with Alain. And that is the story of two people from the Nazissenkreuz Institute who both wanted to save the world. I do sometimes wonder, why is it that people like them have such grand hopes of saving the world? Even the grandest tree starts as a tiny seed. So perhaps, for each of them, their mission to save the world began with a very simple desire: to save themselves. They were young children with friends and family who mattered to them, desires to explore the meaning of life, ambitions to have a successful career. They didn't want to see all of that taken away in one fell swoop. Or maybe they just wanted to find something to anchor themselves within the chaos, to stop them getting quietly swept away by the storms of life. But instead, the search for their own salvation took them down the rocky road laid out by fate. Do you think the desire to save oneself is enough of a justification to try and save the world? Sensible answer. Glad to know you've got your head screwed on straight. Alain would disagree, though. I asked him the same question back when he was in his prime, putting all of his energy into his work. Yes, it's enough. No elaboration, just a quick, short answer before getting right back to his work. I owe Arlecchino a favor for telling me these stories. I'll have to bring a whole sack of gifts the next time I visit the House of the Hearth.